So why are they so hot? Like, let's get down to it. Why are they so hot?
What do you do when some bozo forgets to fill your water tank?
I'll just have to drink formula. We're filming on Mother's Day, and what better way to celebrate Mother's Day than with hot moms?
Hot moms!
The highest form of life form that there is, I think, in my opinion, because this is Crooked Timber. The hot moms that we're going to be talking about today are also Mormon. But to my knowledge, these hot Mormon moms are not also evil. So that'll be kind of a fun change of pace. The Mormon Church has said that they prefer to be referred to as Latter-day Saints, but Mormon is still a very common and accepted way to refer to them. The reason why they don't want to be called a Mormon anymore is because they ultimately want to distance themselves from a lot of the scandals that have befallen the Mormon Church. More and more people learn about the history of Mormonism. I think the more and more they want to sort of confuse and obfuscate their origins. That's just my opinion. So I'm still going to call them Mormons because, you know, they're a cult, and I don't care what they want to be called.
Did you know that Mormon leader Joseph Smith had over 30 wives and 7 of those were under 18 when he married them? Sorry, it's actually the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay, well, of those 30 wives, 11 of them were married to other men when Joseph Smith married them. Please do not use Mormon to describe us. Okay, do you have any commentary on, the history of polygamy in Mormonism? La 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 la. The church spent at least $6 million on the I'm a Mormon campaign. Since then, our prophet, President Nelson, has received a revelation from God that actually calling us that is highly offensive. But everybody knows the religion as Mormon, and it's way quicker to say. I don't understand how you'll respect other people by calling them by their real pronouns, but you won't respect us by calling us by the true name of our church. Oh, do you call people by their preferred pronouns? That's not the point!
A lot of people are surprised to learn just how many popular mom, vlogger, Instagram, YouTuber type influencers are Mormon.
Yes, they are, and so is every influencer you've loved for the past decade. Finally, a chance to share an elaborate diagram. I believe all Mormon influencers fall into one of these main 3 categories.
A lot of them are not super upfront about their faith, but you do a little digging and you find that a lot of them, their wedding photos are in front of a Mormon temple. Or you find out that mom and dad met at BYU. And then those are just the little hints that let you know that these are indeed Latter-day Saints. There are a lot of aspects of Mormon culture and Mormon culture's expectations of women that translate easily and beautifully into the online influencer space. I guess I should also say that for this video, I am talking specifically about a very specific rich subset of Mormons, and I know that these people are not necessarily representative of most Mormons. The first thing that you'll see when you start to scratch the surface of what it is about Mormonism that makes so many of these women want to be online influencers, Mormons are obsessed with family record keeping. Mormons believe that they can perform sacred rituals that will bring their dead ancestors into heaven, into Mormon heaven. So in order to get their whole family into Mormon heaven, they have to know who these people are. So genealogy and family record keeping has always been really important to Mormons.
I haven't heard many crazier things that regular people try to do
than getting your dead ancestors into heaven.
It's like you missed the baptism and they're gonna dig you up wherever you are and sprinkle some spell or potion on you and make you...
They don't dig them up.
Rip you out of whatever heaven you ended up in and then drag you into Mormon hell.
Right.
Heaven, whatever they think that is.
Right, yeah. The responsibility for this family record keeping falls to women. LDS girls are encouraged from an early age to scrapbook and keep journals as a way to get in the habit of recording their family history. I found this article in Allure that interviews Amber Fillerup-Clark, who's huge in the Mormon mom, specifically hair influencer world. The article says, like most Mormon girls, Fillerup-Clark was encouraged to keep journals and scrapbooks growing up. And she thinks this early education in archiving one's own life is what leads so many Mormon women to take up lifestyle blogging. I also found some general conference talks that refer specifically to Mormons using social media. General conference is kind of an annual or semi-annual address of Mormon officials to Mormons everywhere. Found one that said, "We encourage people, young and old, to use the internet and the social media to reach out and share their religious beliefs. As you utilize the internet, you may come across ongoing conversations about the church. When directed by the Spirit, do not hesitate to add your voice to these conversations." And that talk is so interesting to me that they're telling Mormons, hey, use social media to say positive things about the church. Because 2011 is the year the musical The Book of Mormon came out. Originally, this part of the video was supposed to be a clip from the musical The Book of Mormon, but YouTube's copyright system got in the way, as usual. In it, the main character, Elder Price, is singing about a crisis of faith and some of the, a rainbow in my face, and some of the wackier beliefs that mainstream Mormons have, such as ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. The Garden of Eden is in Jackson County, Missouri. Mormons get their own planets when they die. I think that the Mormon Church has since reneged on that one, and that God changed his mind about black people in 1978. I'll talk more about that later. The song, the refrain, culminates with Elder Price singing, "I'm a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes." And it's a really funny and good summation of the kind of cognitive dissonance that a lot of Mormons must experience. You can find it on YouTube. Sorry that YouTube's copyright system won't let us have fun. The Mormon Church went on a social media blitz, including an ad campaign called "I'm a Mormon" that was meant to counter the uncomfortable facts about Mormonism that the musical The Book of Mormon addresses. So, kind of funny.
My name is Mick Hagan.
My name is Rachel Hagan.
I'm half Guatemalan. I can shake my booty here and there.
I'm a mom. I am an interior designer.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a proud father.
And I'm a Mormon.
And I'm a Mormon.
I found an article in the New York Times from 2011 that talks about the inspiration for the I'm a Mormon campaign. Top Mormon leaders had hired two big-name advertising agencies in 2009, Ogilvy and Mather and Holland Partners, to find out what Americans think of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Using focus groups and surveys, they found that Americans who had any opinion at all used adjectives that were downright negative: secretive, cultish, sexist, controlling, pushy, and anti-gay. This campaign also came in the wake of Mitt Romney's presidential campaign, which top Mormon leaders say had nothing to do with the fact that they wanted to deal with this Mormon perception problem. But I don't know, it seems pretty convenient. I found this other quote from another early 2010s General Conference talk. "We do not hide our faith. We do not bury it. To the contrary, we talk about our journey with others in normal and natural ways."
I can shake my booty here and there.
That's what friends do. They talk about things that are important to them. Share your experiences in person, on social media, in groups, everywhere. Mormon women are told from an early age that their highest possible calling is to be a wife and a mother. I have to adjust my bra. To be a wife and a mother. And to always have their boobs on straight.
Yeah. Keep them on straight.
While women working outside the home is not expressly forbidden, it's also very encouraged that staying home with your kids is probably the best use of your time. So when mom blogs got big in the early 2010s, of course, a lot of Mormons jumped on the trend. And now we have Instagram and YouTube and TikTok have evolved from that initial blogging culture. And a lot of the really big Mormon influencers in Instagram got their start in the mommy blogging realm. So why are they so hot? Like, let's get down to it. Why are they so hot? Because it wasn't always that way. Mark Twain visited Utah and went out of his way to tell everyone how homely he found the women of Utah. He said, "Our stay in Salt Lake City amounted to only 2 days, and therefore we had no time to make the customary inquisition into the workings of polygamy and get up the usual statistics and deductions preparatory to calling the attention of the nation at large once more to the matter." Because remember, at the time Mark Twain is visiting Utah, polygamy is still very much part of mainstream Mormonism.
Yeah, they just gotten driven out of Missouri.
Yeah. "I had the will to do it. With the gushing self-sufficiency of youth, I was feverish to plunge in headlong and achieve a great reform here, until I saw the Mormon women. Then I was touched. My heart was wiser than my head. It warmed toward these poor, ungainly, and pathetically homely creatures. And as I turned to hide the generous moisture in my eyes, I said, no. The man that marries one of them has done an act of Christian charity which entitles him to the kindly applause of mankind, not their harsh censure. And the man that marries 60 of them has done a deed of open-handed generosity so sublime that the nation should stand uncovered in his presence and worship in silence."
Wow.
No one talks enough about what a bitch Mark Twain was. Samuel Langhorne Clemens. So how did they get so hot? I have a theory, and it has to do with money. I think money is at the root of beauty. You have to remember that the women that Mark Twain was seeing were hot off the trails. These were the pioneers, the settlers, the women that Ballerina Farm is cosplaying as in her millionaire pretend ranch. Dentistry, taking care of yourself, all the things that make you hot just had not yet made it to Utah. Now, today, Utah is one of the richest states in the U.S., which I had no idea. As a member of the liberal East Coast elite, when I pictured Utah, I picture like a tumbleweed, a saloon, Warren Jeffs compound, if I'm honest. I thought that was just like Salt Lake City. It was just women with the hair. The median income is over $70,000, which is, and I believe the nationwide median income is something like $45,000. So they're doing well out there in Utah. Utah has a lot of laws that are very friendly to new businesses and entrepreneurship. You know anything about Mormon culture, you know that there is an insidious connection between Mormons and MLM schemes. But it's worth noting that Utah has a lot of legitimate businesses as well. So a lot of them are doing very well for themselves. And with this wealth has come a boom in plastic surgery. It's actually nuts. Again, from the Allure article, though it's the capital of one of the most religious states in America, Salt Lake City has more plastic surgeons per capita than Los Angeles. It doesn't line up, does it? Laughs Julie de Azevedo Hanks, a Salt Lake City-based psychotherapist specializing in Mormon women's emotional health and relationships. That is very specific.
Yeah.
It's a culture with very strong ideas about humility, modesty, and double D boobs. The article also suggests that there is a level of competition among Mormon women because there are substantially more women in Utah than men.
We should, if I may, pivot to showing me the boobs so that...
Should we? Okay, cut to boobs. Let's drop what we're doing. We have to look at boobs. Can I just finish my one thought?
Okay.
This is going somewhere. You have to understand that Mormon heaven has 3 levels. And for you to get to the highest level, you have to be what? Married. That's right. No singles. No singles allowed. Only married couples can enter. And I've heard them, and I've seen some Mormon leaders pay lip service the idea of in the fullness of time, God does not withhold his gifts from anyone, blah, blah, blah. It matters what's in your heart. Okay, well, that's not what a lot of people believe. It's generally understood that you have to have a spouse to get to the tip top, the celestial kingdom as it's known. Look at the celestial kingdom. Oh, it's so white. Okay. Let's look at boobs.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess that's fine.
So I may have oversold it. This is also family content, so it's not just It's not just boobs.
Like bikini pics with your kid pics is weird. It's like, what are we doing?
So you're against the idea of hot moms?
No, I mean I'm married to one, so that's pregnant hot mom. Or just
look at my butt. Oh, look at my little tushy. So this is her pregnancy announcement.
with the butt?
With the butt out, which I love. Now, when you see all these pictures of Mormon moms in bikini, you may recall in the previous episode, I mentioned that temple attending Mormons are supposed to wear these voluminous undergarments. And those certainly have no place under a bikini. Mormons are not required to wear that underwear all the time. For instance, when swimming. Members are still encouraged to be modest. At one point, the church came out and said, don't wear two-piece bikinis. The Mormon church will not specifically commit to a type of bathing suit that they think everyone should wear. So because there is a little wiggle room, a little room for interpretation, that's something that a lot of Mormons exploit. And other Mormons do call them out and say, like, I don't believe they're Mormon because they're wearing bikinis. But that's just not how it is. People just don't interpret things the same way all the time.
And remember, every time you comment and say, I'm a Mormon, and I know she's not Mormon because she's wearing a bikini, I barf. Barf, barf, barf. I tell Jesus what you said, and I barf some more. They can wear bikinis if they want to.
There's also a lot of talk in Mormonism about how your body is a temple, and because of that, a lot of Mormons are very dedicated to fitness. Take, for instance, this general conference address by Elaine Dalton, who was the young woman general president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from 2008 until 2013. You understand that you possess a sacred power that involves the holy responsibility of bringing other spirits to earth to receive a body in which to house their eternal spirit.
What?
Oh my God. This power involves another sacred soul. You are a guardian of something more precious than rubies. Be faithful, be obedient, prepare
More
now.
precious than rubies.
Prepare now so that you may qualify to receive all the blessings that await you in the Lord's holy temple. My only note for this was, oh my God, Elaine. Oh my, oof. It's too much. So basically, you have to be fit to be as healthy as possible to fulfill all of your motherhood duties because you are a sacred vessel. So you can see how all of that would contribute to an obsession with fitness and keeping your body as possible. And add to that Mormons also don't smoke, don't drink coffee. And all of that contributes, I assume, to their glowing, bronze, dewy complexions. A lot of ex-Mormons have said this too, like the pressure that you feel as a Mormon woman to live up to this crazy standard all the time. That fits with a comment I found in an ex-Mormon subreddit. It says, was in a Midwest YSA ward. I don't know what YSA is. And was told that as women, we need to keep our bodies slim and fit, as our main role as women is to be carriers of life. I also recall several young women lessons through the years about caring for physical appearance, which honestly could have been helpful for the awkward bunch of developing teens we were, but the lessons focused on wearing makeup, controlling facial and body hair, etc. Hearing men tell younger men the more righteous they are, the more beautiful their wife will be. Like I mentioned before, most of the Mormon influencers that I've shown or talked about don't really talk that much about being Mormon. They're not explicitly evangelical. A few are, but most of them aren't. And if I had to guess, and this is me speculating, I think it's because as of late, in the past 5 to 10 years especially, there's been so much ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon content that's come out that's explicitly criticized the church's ugly history when it comes to things like racism. If you didn't know, the Mormon church didn't allow black members to become members of the priesthood until the 1970s, until the civil rights movement generated enough pressure for the Mormon leadership to finally relent. Even though that went against what previous Mormon leaders had specifically said before.
Yeah, when you combine health with, that kind of talk, you're talking about eugenics.
You're gonna get to eugenics event. All
They
roads
all
lead.
end up in eugenics.
The Book of Mormon specifically refers to Mormons aspiring to be a white and delightsome people. Look at these white, delightsome people. Look at it, they're
Delightsome.
white and they are delight.
Full of delighty whitey.
They are white, delighty whiteys.
I wear my delighty
My
whiteys.
tidy whiteys for my delighty whiteys. Speaking of which, this brings up this is uncomfortable. Again, another LDS influencer that I mentioned last time. Nara Smith is part of the latest wave of Mormon influencers who drive people crazy with her super idealized, beautiful home life. Does she know? Did her husband tell her about all this before she converted? I don't know. I want to know. I want to hear. I'm really interested to know. I would never harass anyone, but I am very interested to know what do Black Mormons make of this? I'm sure you can say well, Christianity has problems with racism as well, and of course it does. I would argue though that when Christians say that the Bible supports or justifies racism, they're wrong. And when Mormons say that there's actually nothing in Mormonism that supports or justifies racism, they're lying. So there's that. And I think that Mormon influencers know if they came right out and said, I'm a Mormon, I believe in the Book of Mormon, this is my religion, deal with it. I think that they'd get a lot of pushback and they'd get a lot of people saying the same things that I've just brought up over and over, like Joseph Smith was a pervert, your church is racist. I think that they'd rather engage in a much more subtle type of influencing evangelical conversion, don't you want to be like us? Don't you want to have what we have, a big giant house in Utah? Don't you want to have white teeth and blue eyes? They make their way of life seem really desirable without having to deal with the pesky details of what it is that they actually believe. So that's all I have for Mormon vlogger mommies and how they are and why they are. But my baby's awake from his nap, so goodbye. You're not my top priority. But I do love you.